Hi, I'm Michelle Turner from Movement Lesson, and I've come up with 5 key warning signs of possible developmental delays developing in your child for infants and toddlers. Now, up until now, most developmental delays are lack of pointing, nonverbal, but that's around a 2-year level, and I find that that's much too late for the parents that start to see concerns and they're being told the next 6 months will tell. Well, if you want to do something about it to help your child at a much earlier age, this is something that would be beneficial to you and easy to look for. This is the 5 that I've come up with. The first one is torque, a twist through the system. True torque is an arc going through the system. Well, that arc is rolling over. That arc is looking over here. If it gets traumatized or doesn't develop in an infant system, then they don't go into rolling over, possibly crawling to sitting up. You'll start seeing other milestones affected. Now the second one is balance. Now I move a lot when I talk. I have a balance through my pelvis to my head. Now, this is something, if a child, let's say, is going into sitting, and they're going to be a little bit more because they haven't figured it out just yet. However, if they go to reach for a toy and they're gone, or you're saying, I can get them to sit up now for a whole 15 seconds. Those are things that you might want to look into. You'll start to see this in the high chair. There's a big difference between being in a high chair versus being in a high chair. So it's to look for the balance. Now the third one is extension. An extension is just that. Your extension, sitting up, reaching, that's all extension. But extension is also going into crawling. Crawling forward is extension. So if that's not in the system, and it ties into the fourth one, which is slouching. Babies don't slouch. So if your child's going more this, or what I call the extension, a typical child, pick me up, they're going into this. Where there's concern where that doesn't exist is when the arms go to here, voomf, and you have that more of that slouch. So the child's doesn't have the extension to reach up into your arms. So that's when you're like, oh, he's getting so heavy. Or it's hard to keep them here. They kind of slide down all the time. So it's not about, again, the diagnosing or does my child have autism or developmental delays. You're starting to see key patterns here. And now the fifth one is not, again, a diagnosis. It's what I call a sophisticated peripheral vision. You can take a set of keys, track them with the child, and if the child can't per se track, this is something again that can be worked on. But guess what? As they get a little bit older, they're not gonna, so you'll see a child more here, or oh, he's just really into his work, but he's not working the room. Because again, when the peripheral vision isn't kicking in properly, why is there a reason? If you're not seeing this, then where's the curiosity to do this? So if you put it all in together, like going up over the high chair, let's say if you drop a spoon, is a child totally not interested? Or do you have the extension, and the torque, the balance to look down and see if they can see the spoon or the dog coming into the room or another sibling? So those are the conversations that you start seeing in your child. I can tell you right now, an autistic child does not have torque, period, the end. Matter of fact, crossing midline is just an issue for severely autistic children, and they don't have the peripheral vision at all, much less balance and everything else that goes on. And again, this isn't about diagnosing. This is about early intervention. Early intervention is about, does my child have just little glitches in the system that need redirecting? That's it. So much easier to do it at that level than allowing those concerns to continue.